the screen better with DJ Pro AI. I'm DJ Spiegel Spin, and in this video, I'm going to share with you a bunch of ways how to increase the brightness of the screen in DJ Pro so you can actually see what you're doing. Alright, so when it comes to DJing or it comes to doing any type of job or trade or even hobby, it is very important to be able to see what you're doing. Now, DJing in different types of environments, like if you DJ outside or if you're in a bright restaurant or you're in a pitch black club, you're going to need a different level of brightness on the screen, and you're going to need things to have more contrast so that you're able to see what buttons, what song you're playing, what knob you're moving, what faders up, what faders down, and to be more precise with your DJing. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of ways on how to adjust the brightness more than just using the slider that if you slide down to the right corner. So first part of this video, I'm going to show you guys like settings within the iPad, and then after that I'm going to go back into the app and show you how to adjust some stuff in the app. So let's go to our regular settings, our iPad settings, and now what you're going to see, let's just go over here, notification. You're going to want to go down to, I made it too bright. You're going to want to go down to accessibility. Don't go to display and brightness. That may seem like it's the right one to go to, but just go to accessibility and then go down. Then we're going to go down to display and text size. And now we're going to go all the way down to the bottom. And the first thing that I would recommend doing if you plan on DJing with your iPad is to turn this off. This is auto brightness, so it's there to help save battery life. It'll add the brightness, it'll decrease the brightness based on what it believes it should based on the lighting of the environment. But as DJs, when we DJ, we should have our iPad plugged in and charging, so we don't really care about wasting battery life. We care about seeing what we're doing. So we're going to turn this off. So I'm not sure if you could see it through the screen recording, but we're going to turn it off. And now wherever you set the brightness on this slider here, it's going to stay like that and it's not going to change on you. You might have been DJing and then you realize like, does it keep dimming, and then you have to get distracted from DJing and change it. So this is one thing that really helped me. Now the next one is this slider here. This is reduce the white point. This is the intensity of bright colors. So if you go all the way to the right, it makes the screen more dim. And then if you go all the way to the left, it makes it more bright. But what I suggest doing is to just turn it off completely. And then now you can control the brightness like in real time without anything changing by using this slider over here. So whatever brightness is right for you. And then now if it's all the way bright, it is super bright. I think you could see the screen on my face, but now we have the brightest screen, which it'll hurt your eyes if you use it in a lit environment. But if you're at the beach or if you're doing a pool party or something like that, it might be very difficult, almost impossible to see your screen. But if you have these settings on, you could see your screen even if it's 90 degrees and sunny in Florida. All right, so the next thing that I am going to suggest that you guys play around with and see if it works for you is to increase the contrast. So this increases the color contrast between the background and then the foreground. So with this on, I found that in DJ Pro, I am able to see a little bit better. I don't know if it's just in my head. It's a very subtle difference within the app. This is what it looks like with it on. And that's what it looks like off. So back to the settings. So that is the settings that I recommend you changing within the normal iPad settings. So let's go back to the DJ Pro AI app and I'll show you some settings that really help with visualizing and seeing what's going on. So we're going to go over here to the waveforms. Now this works anywhere where you can view the waveforms. Let me just get a different track on. So now you could see the waveforms here. Now, one of the hidden features that I talk a lot about in my hidden features video is this button here. You may not realize that this arrow, if you press it, you get this menu. So right next to where the numbers 1 and 2 are, there's an arrow and we get some menu. This is where you could put slice mode, slip mode, but the one thing that's pretty important is this dark mode. So if you look at the waveforms now, dark mode is on. Now look at the waveforms when I turn it off. So it makes the area behind the waveforms the same. It makes the area behind the waveforms like jet black, opposed to the kind of grayish color that you see over here on the rest of the app. And I found that this makes it so much easier to spot differences in the waveforms, and it makes it so much easier to see what's going on in the song by using the visual cues of the waveforms. So that's how you do it. You go here, arrow, and then that's how you can turn dark mode on and off. All right, so now let's go over to Pro mode. Now we're in Pro mode. And then over here, we're going to go to Settings. Now we're in Settings, and then we are going to go to Appearances. And then over here, we could see cue points. I have it in high contrast. You see how bright and beautiful these cue points are down here? You could simply just adjust it to low contrast. That is what it will be on if you haven't changed it. So low contrast, high contrast. So with low contrast, it just shows the little arrows with the color. And then if you put it on high contrast, you could see pretty much the whole square is lit up the color. And then now with the new update, when you change these colors within the cue point section of the app, you will see it on your controller if your controller has RGB pads. So having the controller being bold and colored, and then having the cue points on the screen being like that, it makes it really easy to just find your cues and not have to look around. And I found it to be extremely helpful, and it also just looks really cool. All right, I went over most of this stuff in my hidden feature video, but I'll go over some stuff quick. So now we could see on the vinyl, we could see full artwork on the picture disc. So if we go back over here, back to classic mode, the whole record is going to be the album cover. But if we go back, then it's just going to do like a little strip like you would see like on some real records. Is it just going to be like only like 30% of it? And I found it really helpful to be able to see it from without having to like squint or look, because then you have another visual cue, and at least you know like what album, what artist it is, and it's just another way of staying on top of what you're doing. And that's if you use classic mode a lot, which I really like using classic mode for scratching and then doing stuff like that. So you're not going to be able to see it on the jog wheels, obviously, in Pro mode. So just keep that in mind. And now speaking of the jog wheels in Pro mode, if we press the same button that I told you about in classic mode, which is right next to the 1 or 2, the down arrow, look at what happens now. We get this menu, slice, slip, dark mode, and then zoom. Zoom just will zoom in or out of your waveforms. And then at the bottom you can reset. But now if we go to Pro mode and press the same button, we get an expanded menu. So what you could do is you could get rid of the jog wheels altogether. If you're someone that really likes to pay attention to the waveforms and you don't really DJ using the jog wheels as much, you don't scratch and you're not going to DJ like that. Or if you do like to use the jog wheels and you have a controller and you're only going to use the jog wheels on the controller, and then you want to see what's going on with the waveforms more, then I would recommend turning off the jog wheels. But if you're using the iPad only without a controller, it could get a little annoying having it off. So I keep it on for now. But when my controller is plugged in, I just turn it off. It's just you get this really, really great view of the waveforms. And these waveforms, if you know what each color means, then you could you can know exactly what's going on in the song without using headphones or without ever hearing the song, which is good for if you want to DJ with Bluetooth and if you don't want to have to use your headphones all the time when you DJ. Another thing you could do is change the waveform orientation, but I don't recommend doing that because, again, you don't get as good of a view of your waveforms. So I hope this helped you guys be able to find the songs and the buttons that you're needed and be able to have more fun when you DJ without having to worry about not being able to see the screen. So if you have any other advice on if you think I left something out, or if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I try to get back to all the questions. And if you found value in this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.